I never thought I'd be one of those guys caught in some cliché betrayal story, but here I am, staring at my phone with a pounding heart trying to process what I just saw. My name's Mike, by the way. I've been with my wife, Jessica, for about 3 years now. We got engaged 6 months ago and everything seemed fine. Well, mostly fine. She was a bit bitchy sometimes, but I figured that was just her way. She's always been a bit dramatic, quick to yell, quick to lie, but I loved her. Or at least I thought I did. Here's the thing, the signs of trouble started subtly. Jessica stopped being as affectionate. She'd dodge my kisses, brush off my touch, and start staying late at work more often. She'd say she was working late on a project or meeting with some clients, but I sensed there was something else. Maybe I was paranoid, I don't know. I've been burned before, so I tend to overthink. Still, I didn't push. I figured I'd wait until something concrete showed up. Then the engagement party happened. I was excited, my friends, my family, the whole celebration. Jessica looked stunning and I was proud to call her my fiancée, but something felt off that night. She was unusually distant, glued to her phone, disappearing into the bathroom more than she should. I told myself she was just nervous or maybe had a lot on her mind. Still, I caught her lying once or twice about where she was, and she'd brush it off with that bitchy smirk, saying I was just being paranoid. Classic Jessica. The real bombshell came the next morning. I was exhausted from the party, still buzzing about the good times when I decided to check her phone. It's not something I normally do, but I'd noticed her deleting messages, hiding her screen when I got too close. Old habits die hard, I guess. What I found made my stomach drop. I saw texts from someone named Alex, talking about plans to meet up, explicit messages about sex, and references to a hotel. I was stunned, I always knew Jessica was a little wild, but this. With her childhood best friend, that was a whole new level. I scrolled through more messages and found pictures, naked selfies even. She was telling Alex that she was so bored of him and can't wait to see him again. My mind started racing. This wasn't just a fling, it had been going on for a while and she was lying to my face that whole time. The worst part, she lied about going home early from the party, said she was tired, that she wanted to rest. But I found security footage, yes, security footage, that showed her sneaking into a hotel with Alex while I was upstairs celebrating. They didn't even try to hide it. They were practically flaunting it. I couldn't believe it. Jessica, the girl I was planning to marry, was cheating on me with her childhood best friend. Alex had been around since we first started dating, always friendly, always the good guy. And Jessica, she played me like a damn fool. I felt a mix of rage, heartbreak, and utter disbelief. It's like my whole world was crashing down around me. I kept replaying that footage over and over. How long had they been doing this? How many times? And why? I thought I knew her, but now I wasn't so sure anymore. After I saw the footage, everything started to unravel. I sat there, stunned, the phone trembling in my hand. My mind was racing, trying to process what I'd just watched. Jessica, my fiancée, sneaking out with Alex, her childhood best friend, while I was upstairs, oblivious, celebrating our supposed future. It was like a punch to the gut, only worse because I had no idea how long this had been going on, how many lies I'd swallowed before I found out. I didn't sleep that night. Instead, I kept going over every detail, every moment I thought was innocent but now seemed tainted. The questions kept piling up. How could she lie so effortlessly? Why did she think she could get away with it? Did she really think I wouldn't find out? All those times she brushed me off, said I was being paranoid, or accused me of overreacting. Was she just preparing herself for the big reveal? Or was she just that good at pretending? That thought made me sick. Eventually, I couldn't hold back anymore. I needed to confront her. I waited until she got home from work the next day. She strutted in, high and bitchy as ever, flipping her hair and throwing that smirk at me. I could see it in her eyes. She knew she was caught, but she was trying to act like she didn't care. I looked right at her and said, "Jessica, I know what you did. I saw the footage. You lied about going home early. You went to a hotel with Alex. How long has this been going on?" Her eyes widened for a split second, then that familiar bitchy smirk came back. "Oh, come on, Mike, seriously. You're overreacting. It's just sex and it's not a big deal. You're making a mountain out of a molehill." I couldn't believe her. Did she really expect me to buy that crap? I felt my jaw tight. "It's a big deal. You lied to me about everything, about where you were, about your feelings, and Alex, the guy you've known since childhood, I thought he was just a friend. Turns out he's been fucking my fiancée behind my back and you expect me to just brush it off." She rolled her eyes, scoffing. "You're overreacting as usual. Just because I had some fun doesn't mean I don't love you. I don't know what you want me to say." I was stressed, okay? That night was nothing. It was just sex, Mike. It doesn't mean anything. That word, nothing, hit me like a slap. Just sex. That's all she saw it as. Meanwhile, I was sitting here feeling like my world was crumbling. I looked at her, my fists clenched. How could she be so callous? How could she do this to me and then just dismiss it like it was some casual hookup? I wanted to scream, to shake her until she saw how much she'd hurt me. But I kept quiet, feeling a cold rage take over instead. I couldn't believe I married someone so manipulative, so willing to lie and cheat. The woman I thought I knew was a complete stranger. And the worst part, I didn't even know if I could trust myself anymore. Was I blind? Was I just too stupid to see the signs? Every ounce of love I'd had was turning into bitterness. I felt so betrayed, so humiliated. And honestly, I don't remember what I said next. I just remember feeling a mixture of heartbreak and fury, knowing that from that moment on, everything would change. The days that followed that confrontation felt like walking through a fog. I kept replaying everything in my head, her dismissive tone, the way she shrugged off what I knew was a betrayal like it was no big deal. I started noticing even more things that didn't add up. Small things, really, but they felt like clues. She was more distant now, avoiding eye contact, making excuses to leave the room when I tried to talk about it. Jessica always had an answer, but it was never enough. Lying seemed to come as naturally to her as breathing. I decided I needed to see her phone again just to confirm what I already suspected. I wanted to find any more proof, any details I might have missed. I knew it was a risk. She could have cleared everything out or worse, had a backup somewhere. But I had to know. So one night I waited until she was asleep, got into her purse, and started digging through her messages and photos again. That's when I found it. A newly sent message from Alex just last night confirming their plans to meet again. Maybe it was innocent to her, but to me, it was the final straw. They'd been sneaking around behind my back all this time. Worst part, she had no idea I was snooping. Every word, every picture, every lie I uncovered just piled onto my anger. I couldn't take it anymore. I knew I had to confront her, but I wanted to do it differently this time. I wanted her to see that I knew everything. That's when I started planning my revenge. I didn't want to just throw her out or call her a slut. I wanted her to feel what I was feeling. Humiliated, betrayed, utterly crushed. And I didn't want to do it in a way that was impulsive or reckless. I wanted it calculated, precise. So I reached out to Alex, played it cool, acted like I was just trying to understand. I told him I knew about his affair with Jessica and that I was furious. It was a calculated move to make him nervous, to make Jessica realize I was onto them. I kept quiet about what I knew, making him sweat, waiting for the right moment to strike. The next day, I came home early from work. Jessica was home, but she looked tense, like she knew I was up to something. I kept my cool, played the part. The betrayed husband just testing her patience. I brought up the messages, the footage, everything I'd found. I watched her face drain of color as I laid it out. Her bitchy attitude melted into panic. She tried to deny it again, but I had her cornered. That's when I broke the news about the pictures and the footage, showing her that I knew everything. Her reaction was priceless. Her eyes widened, her lips trembling. She tried to turn it around, call me crazy, say I was overreacting. But I had enough. I told her I wanted her to leave. I wanted her to see how much she'd screwed up, how much she'd hurt me. I was done with her lies, done with being a fool. I wanted to make her feel what I'd felt, humiliated, betrayed, and utterly alone. Once I laid everything out, proof, footage, messages, her attitude shifted instantly. That bitchy smirk was gone, replaced with genuine panic. She started rambling, trying to deny everything, saying it was all a mistake, that it didn't mean anything, that I was just overreacting. But I wasn't buying her bullshit anymore. I told her she could leave, that I didn't want to see her face again until she figured out what she truly wanted. I wanted her to feel the weight of what she'd done, to sit with her guilt, and maybe, just maybe, realize how much she'd destroyed. She stormed out, screaming that I was overreacting, calling me insecure, accusing me of ruining her life because I'd found out the truth. Honestly, I just stood there, feeling numb. I watched her walk out that door, her heels clicking against the hardwood, her makeup streaked, her face twisted with rage and shame. I didn't care about her excuses anymore. All I saw was the girl I loved turning into a stranger, someone capable of lying, cheating, and dismissing my feelings like they were nothing. That night I stayed up, staring at the ceiling, replaying everything. The heartbreak was overwhelming, but so was this strange sense of relief, like a weight had lifted, even if it was a heavy one. I realized I'd been blind, but now I saw her for who she really was, and I knew deep down I had to do something. I couldn't just let her walk away and pretend it never happened. I wanted her to feel what it was like to lose someone she supposedly loved, to understand that her lies had consequences. So I started making a plan, not just to get rid of her, but to make her suffer a little, show her that betrayal isn't something you can brush off. I contacted a lawyer, started gathering evidence of her cheating, just in case I needed to get a divorce. I also reached out to Alex, told him I knew about their affair, and warned him to stay away from her. I wanted her to realize that her actions had repercussions, not just for me, but for her entire life. The days that followed were a whirlwind. Jessica kept calling, begging me to forgive her, crying and saying she was sorry, but I was done listening. I told her that she had to face the consequences of her own choices. I wasn't going to let her manipulate her way out of this. I wanted her to know that her lies and cheating had shattered everything, and I wasn't going to be the one to pick up the pieces anymore. I felt a strange mixture of anger and relief. It was like finally waking up from a nightmare I'd been living in for too long. After she left, I felt a strange sense of clarity mixed with an overwhelming emptiness. The house was eerily quiet without her bitchy comments or her screaming fits. I started sorting through everything I'd uncovered, realizing how deep her lies went. I had thought I knew her, that I was marrying someone I could trust. Turns out, she was just a master manipulator, good at hiding her true self behind a pretty face and a bitchy attitude. I kept asking myself, why? How did it all get so twisted? I spent the next few days quietly planning my next steps. I went to see a divorce lawyer, the kind of lawyer who's seen all the tricks and knew how to get what I deserved. I also started documenting everything, screenshots of messages, recordings of her calls, the footage of her sneaking out. I wanted to make sure I had everything in order. She'd lied so much. I didn't want to leave any room for her to spin her way out of it later. Meanwhile, I kept a close eye on her social media, just in case she tried to spin a story or justify her cheating. Honestly, I did want to give her that power anymore. She could spin her lies all she wanted. I knew the truth. I had it all. I also reached out to a few friends for support, people I trust, people who know Jessica's reputation. They were angry for me, and some of them wanted to confront her, but I told them to hold back. I didn't want to give her any more ammunition or make things messier. Jessica kept texting me, mostly begging, crying, apologizing, claiming she was sorry for hurting me, but I didn't buy any of it. Sorry doesn't fix what she did. Sorry doesn't erase the fact that she cheated behind my back with someone she's known since childhood, someone she once called her best friend. I was tired of the lies, tired of the fake tears she threw my way. I knew this was going to be a long, painful process, but I was ready to move on. I didn't want to be with someone who could so easily betray me, who could lie so convincingly just to get her way. One evening, I finally told her she needed to stop calling and texting, that I'd made my decision. I was done trying to salvage something that was already broken beyond repair. It was time to move forward, even if that meant starting from scratch. I knew I'd be okay, I had to be. But I also knew I'd carry this betrayal with me for a while. It's funny how someone you love can turn into your biggest enemy overnight. I'd learned a painful lesson about trust, about how people can hide their true selves behind a facade. And honestly, I'm still trying to pick up the pieces of my heart. Now, looking back, I realized that the hardest part wasn't discovering her betrayal, it was accepting it. That moment when I saw her sneaking out with Alex, I felt like everything I believed in had been shattered into a million pieces. The girl I loved, the woman I was about to marry, turned out to be someone I barely even recognized. She lied so effortlessly, played her game so well, that I questioned everything about our relationship. Trust, which I used to think was the foundation of love, was gone in an instant. I spent weeks trying to make sense of it all. There's no quick fix for betrayal like that. You carry the scars, the anger, the disappointment, and the sadness every day. But somehow, I also learned to rebuild myself. I started focusing on things I used to enjoy before she turned my world upside down: hiking, working out, reconnecting with friends I'd pushed aside. I realized I needed to put myself first for once. Jessica's betrayal was a devastating blow, but it also was a wake-up call. A reminder that sometimes you have to walk away from what's toxic, no matter how much you loved it. The truth is, I don't regret what I did. Catching her and seeing her reaction was painful, but it was necessary. If I hadn't found out, I'd probably still be blind, living in her lies. Now I know better. I know that some people aren't worth the heartbreak, no matter how much time and effort you invest. Her selfishness taught me that. It's a harsh lesson, but one I had to learn the hard way. As for her, I hope she gets whatever she's looking for, though I doubt she'll find happiness with the kind of person she's become. Me, I'm moving on. I've accepted that some betrayals break you, but they also shape you. I'll take what I've learned and use it to be smarter, more aware, more cautious. Because the truth is, love isn't supposed to feel like this, like a trap or a lie or a game you lose. In the end, I realized that I'm better off without someone who can't be honest. Someone who would cheat with her childhood best friend, then lie and manipulate her way out of facing the consequences. I've come to terms with the fact that not every betrayal is fixable, but every one of them teaches you something. I've learned to trust myself more, to listen to the red flags before they turn into full-blown disasters. And most importantly, I've learned that sometimes the only way to truly move forward is to let go of what you thought was forever. Because what's truly forever is your own strength to survive and find happiness again.